Welcome back to Real Milwaukee. Burnout isn't just happening at work these days. Scores of singles say they're experiencing it in the dating world, too.
So today we have local professional matchmaker Camille Kostin from It's Just Lunch Milwaukee joining us live to talk about this issue of dating burnout, Camille. So I think this topic is so relevant and also so funny because you have to figure a lot of singles maybe haven't dated much the last couple of years because of the pandemic. So why are they experiencing this dating burnout now?
Yeah, it is so relevant. And a lot of it is from online. And online dating has been around a long time. But I think it really exploded over the pandemic. You know, we weren't able to go anywhere, but singles still wanted to meet people. And it can be really exciting at first. You're like, oh my gosh, I have all of these options. But that excitement can very soon turn into frustration. You know, I've probably heard every story under the sun, whether it be from my clients at It's Just Lunch or friends, and it's a total numbers game. It's a lot of times swiping, messaging that leads to ghosting or disappearing, misrepresentation. I mean, let's be real. It's the internet. People can say and do whatever they want. You never really know anyone's true ulterior motives or expectations. It just becomes super overwhelming, which leads singles to almost want to give up.
So short of giving up, I guess, what should people do to kind of deal with this, to make it better?
Well, I mean, you want to look for the signs for one. You know, you want to pay attention. Like, the biggest sign is if it feels like work. You know, my clients lead full lives. They're already super busy with their careers, families, other activities. But the last thing they want to do is go home and spend hours swiping through profiles. So if it feels like a second job, you probably need to give yourself a break. But also, if it's a lot of talk and no date, you know, online dating can be super impersonal. You have to get out and meet them face to face. So if you're having so many texting messages or not meeting face to face, that's weird. It's a red flag. Move on. But also, if you start doubting yourself, you know, I really hate this because there are so many great singles out there that are going to be a great partner. And sometimes after a string of bad dates or maybe getting ghosted on, you know, or the games, they start doubting themselves and thinking there's something wrong with them when really it could just be the platform and how they're meeting people.
Yeah, I always found that when you kind of stop looking, it almost like the person comes to you. And I know that's probably not, you know, people are always like, I always tell this to my like single friends. I'm like, I don't know, like just take a break. It's going to be okay. They're probably, you know, the timing has to be right. But I always feel bad because I'm like, I get it. Like it can be really tiresome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer that timing is everything. You know, I think a lot of singles too, of course, we all want to live in a Hallmark movie and run into Mr. or Mrs. Right in the produce section at the grocery store. Sometimes it just does not happen that way, but you do have to give yourself some grace and that patience. But I truly do believe that timing is everything. So you've got to kind of also get out of your comfort zone a little bit too.
I mean, you're kind of giving advice, but, you know, once you're in that whole burnout phase, if you want to get back into it, what advice do you give to people?
Yeah, I mean, look, if you want to do online again, online is not all bad. Trust me, I've seen success, but I think you should ease back into it and be mindful. You know, if you're starting to feel overwhelmed or frustrated, give yourself a little bit of break, maybe allow a certain amount of time to do it, but also try something new. I mean, you could always hire a matchmaker. You know, that way you're meeting people that also are serious about a relationship and you can be selective. If you don't want to do that, totally fine. But I do encourage you getting out of your comfort zone, like I said, you know, joining different groups or classes or meetups, just giving yourself a new opportunity to meet new people.
Oh, that's so true, too. I feel like even post-COVID, like people now think that dating online is the only way to date. They forget that there is like the old-fashioned way where you can just, you know, go out in the wild.
Absolutely. And I mean, we're still in summer. We still have plenty of time. Get outdoors, try something. I mean, I've been watching your fair clips and it's so exciting. Get out and, you know, introduce yourself to people. Just try something different.
I agree. I think it's always hard too, right? Because you're like, ooh, like if it's not in your comfort zone, that's something that's like, it's so hard to push yourself out of that.
Yeah, especially since a lot of us haven't been like going to that many social events the last couple of years. So it can be intimidating.
Yeah, we're a little rusty. And, you know, there are certain ways, you know, I always encourage people because, you know, there are some people that are just shy. They like to have that kind of one-on-one. So group settings are not their thing. So maybe look into smaller groups or something where it is not going to be so intimidating, because if it does make you nervous, then obviously you're probably not going to be putting your best foot forward. But get creative, you know, and that's why you can always talk to experts in the field that can kind of help you navigate these things as well, too.
Camille's always giving good advice, but it also reminds me that I'm so glad that I'm not in the dating phase anymore because it was such a challenge. But everything you say is so true. So thank you so much.